Good afternoon. This is Matthew and Alecia. We're coming to you live every day. Alecia, there we go. Get in the shot here. But we're coming to you live every Friday to talk to you about the Matt and Alecia show, being transparent in our marriage, our business, and how we're building a big life together.
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to talk about what makes this work, what makes it doesn't work.
Yeah, so the big thing being transparent, we want to show people what it's like to live together, to be married, to be working together every day. We share pretty much every aspect of life. We spend tons of time together, and so we want to be transparent as we are building, our marriage every day, as we're building our businesses every day, our relationship and everything in between, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I was thinking about is sales and how that's made us better communicators.
Definitely.
So in sales, you have to acknowledge what people say clearly, because you know exactly what happens when you don't acknowledge what someone says.
Mm-hmm.
Like you heard something, but you didn't really like it, so you ignore it. What happens is they repeat it over and over again until they feel like you heard it. So when Matt says something, when I say something, we make sure that we acknowledge that person and that we understand where they're coming from, even if we don't agree with it. But first we need to acknowledge, and then we can talk about what we agree or disagree with.
Exactly. So that's a great point that, with sales, you have to, like you said, you have to communicate well. You have to communicate clearly. You have to understand what the other person is saying, what they're trying to get across, so that when you do acknowledge it, it's a true acknowledgement and not just saying, oh, yeah, I got it. Or, which a lot of people do, right? All these sitcoms and things on TV. We don't have a TV, but, watching movies and stuff, and people are like on the couch and they're like, yeah, and wife's in the kitchen, right? That's not a true acknowledgement, right? What we're talking about is, hey, looking clearly at you and saying, hey, I got it, I understand, great, gotcha, right? Any one of those. And truly understanding where the person is coming from, what they're saying at their level, right? Mm-hmm. And so communication, it's been key to our success and to our growth, really.
Right. So that's actually, it's been communication's an ongoing journey. Like you have to keep working on it. You have to revise it at different stages in your marriage and your relationship.
Yes.
We have all kinds of stories about this too.
So a quick story, I have not always been a good, clear communicator. I've not been someone who gets in front of the camera. This year I decided, hey, I need to get in front of the camera, go Facebook Live, get in front of more people. I need to work on my communication so that I can clearly enunciate what it is that I'm trying to tell people, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't always like that, was it, Alecia?
It was not like that. Matt used to be, as I was describing yesterday, a caveman.
So with that being said, I used to be a wildland firefighter. I did that for 8 years. I would go fight fire, in the bush of Alaska, Canada, lower 48. I live with 20 dudes for 9 months out of the year. So communication wasn't...
Let me expand on that a little bit. So Matt was working, like he said, in the wild, which often means you don't have cell phone service. So what our relationship was like for a long time was I basically had to wait around the phone until Matt had 15 minutes of cell phone service and the time to call me. And if I didn't pick up the phone, I missed my opportunity for that day and possibly for the next 3 days. And so with that few minutes of time, we had to communicate and anything that was important and our love for each other in 10 minutes before he fell asleep because he was that tired. So it's just been a journey to expand our communication and make it better.
I remember when we first started dating, actually, to go back that far, when we first started dating, there was a moment in time where Alecia actually told me, if you don't start communicating better, we can't do this. That's how bad of communicator I was.
Well, he just thought that the less said was the better, or something that he somehow figured out through living in the wilderness, which didn't work for me.
Yeah, so communication is key in marriage, in business, in life in general. You're gonna have to clearly communicate your point of view in selling and stating your intention in what you're trying to do, sell, or the service you're trying to provide. Correct? So with that, we just wanted to touch on communication. What else do you want to touch on today?
Just communication and expanding, because if if you're not able to communicate properly, you'll be expanding, but not in the right directions or in the same directions.
Okay.
So when, for example, for a long time we had goals, like when we first got married or when we were first starting dating.
Mm-hmm.
First started dating, we had goals, but they were very different goals.
Yeah.
And so we had to come together on those to make them the same goal, or else, like, that's, if you're growing in two different directions, you're almost growing apart in a lot of ways.
And we were.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of our relationship, we weren't on the 100% same page. We knew we loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that we really liked being with each other. There was things about each other that we definitely wanted to come together on, but there was definitely some polarizing things. Alecia wanted to be in the middle of LA, shooting fashion photography, and here I am
in the middle of the wilderness
in Alaska wanting to fight fires. I mean, I don't know how much more polarizing you can get, right?
Yeah, and sometimes you sign up for things that you don't know you're signing up for, like college loans. Like Matt married my college loans, and he also married, I didn't know I wanted to do fashion photography when we first started dating, or even when we got married. That was like a big surprise, It was like a baby you didn't know you were having.
Yeah.
So there's, things just change over time and they evolve, and you need to, everyone's continuing to grow. It's just what direction are you continuing to grow in?
So to wrap all of that up, we started in different places. We came together, went apart. There were some polarizing moments in our relationships. Mm-hmm. We're still together. We're still doing awesome. It's because of, one, communication, and two, we got on the same page. We have our big goals that that really focus into our big why we want to do things. And so by doing that, we are on the same page. We can communicate, which brings us back to our point today about communication. We're able to back and forth, talk about that, figure it out. And because of that, we've been able to grow our business to the point where it is and continue growing that as we add people, as we add systems, as we add processes, and as we continue to grow.
Absolutely.
Anything else before we get going today?
I think that nails it.
Sounds great. Well, we will come back to you next Friday. Matt and Alecia show every Friday, where we open up our relationship, our marriage, and we talk about business and how business has helped us grow as a whole cycle. It's not just one-sided or the other. We are living that big life.
Life?
Big life.
Big wife.
Thanks for watching. This has been Matt and Alecia's show. Oh, we're still live. Thank you for watching. This is